After the huge success of Spider-Man trilogy, it's been 15 years since you directed a superhero movie. Is there any difference or change in directing Spider-Man and Doctor Strange?
Good question. Well, the technology has obviously improved a tremendous amount. We had to make a lot of the tools to make the tools when Spider-Man 1 was being made. And now there is streamlined, efficient companies just set up to help the filmmaker in animated CGI creation for the movies. But the other big difference, I think, is in Spider-Man 1, we had to really figure out who Peter Parker was and who Spider-Man was and how to bring him to the screen. Whereas in the case of Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, this is pretty much episode 28 in the Marvel serialized movies. And these characters come to me fully formed with storylines, with a lot of history to them. And the job is very different. It's now about understanding where they were and bringing them forth to the next place in a logical way that the fans will be pleased with.
And there's a scene when Doctor Strange battles the Garganto, which reminds me of the scene when Spider-Man fight Dr. Ock in Spider-Man 2, because they both like octopus climbing the wall and tracing. Is this a little Easter egg or tribute to your own masterpiece?
Thank you for the kind words, but no, nothing like that. It's simply trying to adhere to the comic books and the stories that took place in them. And in one of the comic books, in many of the comic books, Doctor Strange would fight this gigantic tentacled beast, and it was one of the villains in the Marvel universe.
How's it feel to work with Benedict Cumberbatch? And he said that you are the master of the dark tones.
It feels great to work with Benedict Cumberbatch, not because of what he says, but because he's a great performer. So when you have a scene and you're wondering whether it's going to work or not, suddenly he gets up on stage and it's working. And you roll cameras, roll, get that, capture that performance right now. He makes things work. You know, he's got great talent as an actor and he's got a good soul. So he really knows how to inhabit these characters and make them identifiable for the audience.
Have you already discussed about directing another Doctor Strange movie or another superhero movie?
No, no one's talked to me about that yet. I hope that they like this movie. Yeah, I'd love to do it. Sounds great.
Okay, because when I saw the What If series, I can't help but imagine if you're directing the live action version of the zombie episode, you know.
Oh, I didn't see What If yet, but I'm dying to see it.
Okay, so what is the most difficult thing when you doing this film?
The most difficult thing was the making it during COVID. It was very difficult because we kept stopping for weeks at a time or months at a time. Then we'd start up again. And when you'd have an actor visit, they had to be quarantined, you know, for a week in a room. And then on set, we had to wear the masks, the cloth masks over our face, but then we'd had to wear the glass shields also. And it gets in the way of communication. It's hard to see through your shield to read another actor's expression or another crew member's expression. And the whole job of directing is communication. So when your communication is limited by what you can see and hear, it makes it a little more difficult.